Last Twilight is one of the most talked, the most popular, and the best GEMM-TV BL we have for 2023 to 2024 so far. In this video, I will be talking about my review of the series, some differences between the novel and the series, and what would possibly be the ending of the series based on its novel counterpart. Just a disclaimer, the finale might show a different outcome, so take this with a grain of salt. Before that, you might want to sign up to ExpressVPN to browse and watch your favorite BL series and streaming platforms that are geo-blocked in your country. Our official link is on the description below. Without further ado, let's start our video. Like everyone else, I was one of the few BL fans who were patiently waiting for the arrival of this series just because of what I saw from its trailer. I knew that this kind of story was something different, and that's what we get right now. A different kind of love story, yet with the familiar warm feeling as always. From the get-go, Last Twilight is a love story between a man who is soon to be blind and a man who has a painful past. Both characters are in their most imperfect shape as a human that make them so much vulnerable, but their imperfections help them to grow so much further and to learn from each other, not just to depend but also to know more of themselves. Apart from the main characters, we also have side characters which are there to support the main flow of the story and not just for the sake of having side characters. The issue of Day with his friends could be seen as one of the challenges he needed to overcome in order to build his trust to the people beside him. His unrequited love for August was also something I did not expect from the series, but also made an impact to Mock and made him realize all of his feelings for Day. And of course, Day's animosity towards Night is one of the most important subplots on this drama. It was laid in the very beginning of the show, and that made sense when the reason of his animosity was revealed in the later part of the series. Like everyone else, I'm also not a fan of Day's mother and what she had done for both of his sons. But I understand from her point of view that she just wanted to protect Day by not leaving the four corners of his room. I also sympathize Night for carrying the guilt due to what happened to his younger brother, but at least, he has learned from his mistakes and become a much more responsible brother and son. The plot of the series is pretty well written that I rarely found any plot hole in some scenes, if there's any. The director also made it sure that the scenes were effective and the flow is smooth while maintaining the rise of the viewer's interest until it reaches the finale. We have seen this on-screen couple and vice versa, and while I already found them an effective couple with their chemistry, some were not fond of their partnership. But their characters as Day and Mock is a proof that the actors are indeed great on their craft and their chemistry is overflowing and eye-catchy. Watching the whole 11 episodes of Last Twilight is already enough for me to justify that this BL is one of the best I have ever seen. Right after the release of Mock trailer way back in 2022, I read the novel counterpart just to know what should I expect and whether my anticipation for it was worth it. Although I already forgotten some of the details since it was already quite a long time, I'll just share some differences on the later episodes just to give you some background of the novel. In the hospital scene where Day is about to strip his bandage on his eyes, just like in the series, Day wasn't cured of his blindness even after the surgery. His brother Night and his mum went out to see the doctor to know the reason why, while Mock was left with Day in the room. Afterwards, Day confronted Mock due to what he has learned about the latter not telling the truth. In the novel, the hospital scene was actually where the two broke up due to Mock lying on his status as chef. Day let his phone read out loud a screenshot where Mock and Singha were having a conversation about Mock's opportunity on going abroad to be a chef. Just like in the series, Mock turned down Singha's request due to his reason on not leaving Day. This angered Day because he thought that Mock did not pity him like everyone else, but it turned out that the latter is also the same. Day reminded Mock of their promise before that if the latter pitied him, the two should go separate way. On that day, even if Mock refused to leave him, Day stood on his ground to break up with him. Short after, his mum and brother returned inside the room with Day crying while saying he can't see anything after all. Even though there's something different between the two, the overall outcome still remains the same. Day and Mock still broke up at the end of the day. If you are not a fan of spoilers and don't want to be spoiled on what could be the possible ending based on the novel, you may now exit this video and check out some latest releases of BL dramas on our previous one. In the novel, following their breakup, Day completed his bachelor's degree over the next 2 years without the help of his former lover. Day put a lot of effort to listen to audiobooks and some other materials in order to learn all by himself. For him, he needs to move forward. The atmosphere at home improves a lot since Day has already forgiven his brother while his mother cancelled all of her trips abroad just to spend time with them at night. Although Day was completely blind, he is one of the self-reliant blind people who no longer needs the help of others just to survive a single day. Day opened a bookstore while also being a part-time freelance editor now that the audiobook market has started to become more profitable. One day, Day heard that someone entered his store, but he already knew who it was just by smelling his scent. Day and Mock had a short conversation afterwards, with the latter asking whether they could go back to the old days. Day refused this idea and said that their lives are now much better. He also explained that he can't live always being pitied all his life. Later on, the two agreed to continue their conversation after Day's shift at the store in order to meet Knight and his mum also, but the two were stuck in the elevator due to some heavy rains that affected the power of the building. In that moment, the two had another heart-to-heart talk with Mock persuading Day to go back with him. Mock made Day realize that people make mistakes and they can't guarantee what the future holds, but he could only say that both of them just choose to love. Mock also revealed that he already went to see Day's mum and asked what should he do to earn Day's forgiveness, thinking that Day's mum hasn't forgiven her ex-husband yet. But to his surprise, Day's mum has already forgiven his ex-husband because Day made her realize that people make mistakes like what she did today. Day's heart was softened at that moment and agreed with Mock to start all over again. The two shared a passionate kiss until his phone vibrated. Day thought that it was his mum who was calling, but he was shocked when he heard that it was Cornea Donation Center and he is up for another transplant. Fast forward to a certain time. Day regained his vision again, although sometimes he suffered fatigue and blurred vision as he wasn't yet used to seeing again. The family, including Poor Jai and his baby, had a celebration at the small garden at their home. At that moment, it was revealed that Knight and Poor Jai were already dating for about 2 to 3 months already. Day's mum was not surprised since she already knew about it, and she was supportive of Poor Jai knowing that she's also a single mother. Later on, Day and Mock were seen having a conversation of what the sunlight in the book Last Twilight represents. For Mock, he thought that the author was comparing the fading sight of his child to the light of the sun. But for Day, it's hope. Chasing the light of the sun is chasing the hope of his own life. Even though the episode 11 ended quite a bit sad, I think the episode 12 is going to be worth it if it turns out to be a happy ending. I'm just quite a bit hesitant on whether the series will adapt the scene where Day would be able to see again, but who knows what the future holds. What do you think will happen in the finale? Thank you for watching. That's it, and see you on the next one.